Hey guys, it's Zach with Vero Strength. Today we're going to be talking about how to read a workout properly so you're comfortable, you can make sure the workout is done the way it was intended. And so basically we're going to be going over an outline of what each section means. And so first let's take a look at our warm-up. So when you're reading the warm-up, first thing you'll realize is that these warm-ups are all dynamic. You're never sitting in a static exercise. Some of the warm-ups we use consistently, but then you'll notice that a lot of the warm-ups do shift, and those will change based off what we're doing in the workout. Let's talk about how to read it. That's the first thing that you want to be able to assess, is how to read the warm-up properly. You'll notice we always put the sets first. So the warm-ups tend to be just one set. When you're reading the rep scheme, you'll notice that there's two different numbers with a slash in between. That simply means each side. So if you see 3 on 3, for example, thread the needle, you'll do 3 on one side and then 3 on the other. And you'll read that workout all the way down. Whenever you have a time section, like 15 seconds on the prone cobra, you'll just hold it for that amount of time. As you're going through that warm-up, certainly we want to make sure they're all done correctly. So if you ever had any questions, feel free to grab a coach. Once you're done all the way through the warm-up, then we're going to begin to read the workout. All right, guys, now let's talk about the actual working sets. So you'll notice that we have it separated normally by color, but when you're online or you're looking at the workout on the app, you'll see that there's topics to each section. So this section is all together. We would want to complete that entire section before moving into our other exercises. So let's talk about the strength section. We always note the rest periods. Those rest periods are important because they'll reflect what we're doing in the workout. If you're not taking the proper rest period, you're not going to get the proper stimulus of that workout, and you may not get the intention that you want. So for this workout today, we got obviously a rest for 2 to 3 minutes, and you're gonna rest between every single set. So let's look at A first. A is just one single exercise. So we'll read A, and we're gonna do all of A before moving on to B. We got 5 sets, 5 barbell deadlifts. What you'll wanna do is do set 1. You may do a couple warm-up sets first, as the coaches always instruct. For set 1, you'll just do those 5. You'll then rest the 2 to 3 minutes based off what you need. We can have the clocks running so you can look at the clocks. And then you're gonna repeat set 2 after that 2-minute break, set 3, 4, so on and so forth. You wanna make sure you complete all of A, and then you're gonna pay attention to your percentages as well. Our RPEs we always talk about, that may be a little easier to stick close to. If you're not familiar with your 1 rep max, then you don't have to worry too much about the percentages. Your RPEs, you can use those metrics to find out what weight you're gonna use. After you're finished with A, then you'll move into B. Now you wanna complete all of B. 5 sets. So now that we have 2 exercises, what finishes a set is not going to be 1 exercise, it's going to be those 2 exercises paired together. So that set is basically a superset. They're going to be the 2 exercises as 1. So we got 5 barbell strict press, and again, we're paying attention to those RPEs. You will do those. You're going to have a minimal rest, basically when you're walking to your next exercise, or you take a short 10 to 20 second break, and then you're going to have 5 weighted strict pull-ups. That completes the set. Then you're gonna move into that 2 to 3 minute break again, do the next set, and then you'll go so on and so forth until you have completed all 5. If you were to start with B, then you would complete all of B before moving to A. So we wanna make sure we complete our strength work before moving into our next section. All right, guys, now let's talk about our final section, which we can kind of pair core and mobility together. However, we're always gonna finish with mobility. So we're gonna make sure the core is completed before that. Now you'll notice that our core and midline is always at the end. Why is that? In every exercise, especially strength exercises, you're using the core. You're using the midline. So if you're doing deadlifts, even if you're doing strict press, core pull-ups, your core is active. So that's your foundation of each exercise. We wouldn't want to fatigue the core before doing a heavy strength exercise. So we always finish with that because it's gonna fatigue the core. So let's talk about how we would read this. Very similar to our strength work. Obviously, we have our rest periods, 1 to 2 minutes. So you'll notice here, we wrote 2 to 3 sets. You base this off of you. If you finish 2 sets and your core is completely taxed, like you feel like you can't do anymore, it's best just to stop. But if you can finish 2 sets and you feel pretty good, like you can finish that last set, then go ahead and do 3. It's not a requirement to always complete every single set that's written on the board. These workouts are meant to be fitted to you. So if you feel like you're fatigued, you would just stop. Now let's read how we would do these sets. Same exact setup as we talked about in B. So you would complete the 2 exercises together. So for this exercise, we got 8 med ball exchange sit-ups. And then you'll notice, just like our warm-up, we have 2 different numbers side by side with that slash in between. So you would do 20 seconds on one side with a side plank, and then 20 seconds on the other side with a side plank. Sometimes you'll notice, similarly to our sets, we may write our reps as 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. And again, that's based off of you. If you get to 8 and you're completely fatigued and you can't make it to 10, you would just stop at 8. After you've completed your core, then we all want to do mobility. We can read it the same exact way. We got 1 minute on each side is how we read that. Hamstring banded stretch, and then a 1 minute box stretch at the end, and that would complete mobility. One thing we do want to finish with talking about is to make sure you utilize the coaches. So if you're looking at the board, it's great, maybe you understand the outline, but if you have questions, feel free to come up to us. That's what we're here for. If you're confused about anything, come up to us to ask the question what you may be confused about. What we don't want is you to feel lost. So if you're in the class and you have no idea what to do, please come up to us. We're more than happy to help. But hopefully this helps you to be able to read the workout and feel comfortable in classes.